And you may be sure that the whole issue of insiders and outsiders plays a major part in it. In fact, two of the essays are about that. A wonderful essay by Vidyadhar Gambhir, another one, the essay by Helen, two wonderful essays. So, you may well ask, what am I doing here, sitting up here? I'm an outsider in some sense. But that's the wonderful thing about the Goa Writers Group. That's what makes it so very special. And also, in a way, so very representative of Goa, that it is, in fact, an incredibly cosmopolitan group. As you have amongst the members, people from all around the world, all around India, and all of us feel welcome there. And indeed, it's all because the Goa Writers Group has in fact become a part of the foundation of our lives in Goa. And that's one of the reasons why I feel so very grateful to it. But apart from that, the Goa Writers Group is really representative of Goa in many other ways as well. One of the ways is that there's this deep connection with food and cookery. We have a lot of books on cookery coming out. There's Cornelia Santoro's book, which has just come out. Fatima Gracias' book is coming out next week at Sunaparanta. Helen, I don't know if Helen has written a cookbook, but she certainly should. And there are many others in the group, who are wonderful, wonderful cooks. I'm not going to mention any of them by name because then I'll leave someone out, and like all writers, we don't like to be left out. So, but this is one of the secrets of the Goa Writers Group. We have these wonderful feasts where we eat and eat and eat, and and we have these feasts in wonderful places. Like Sucheta has a marvelous yacht, and sometimes we go out on this yacht and we have these feasts. So, as you can imagine, it's no end of fun. Another way in which the Goa Writers Group is really representative of Goa is that it's multilingual, and I think this is one of the things that is so important about Indian writing today, that every Indian writer to some degree is coping with multiple languages. And in the Goa Writers Group, it's wonderful the way that we have, say, Damodar Bhai here bringing in a Konkani perspective, Jose Lorenz, who's something of a scholar on Konkani writing. He's continuously kept us informed about Konkani writing. This is really a wonderful gift. I was lucky that, I grew up partly in Calcutta. And in Calcutta, again, there's a very close relationship between those who write in Bengali and those who write in English. And in fact, to me, the idea that language can divide writing is something of a bizarre idea. But there are many cities, for example, Delhi, Bombay, where in fact writers in regional languages and writers in English really have no connection. And I think they miss a great deal in that way. So really, it's an absolutely wonderful thing, this group, the way in which this group interacts. And, one of the reasons I think why this book is actually called Inside Out is because we here in Goa, all of us as writers, are in some sense at a slight angle to many universes, to the universe of, writing, international writing, but also we are in a way at a slight angle to India itself. And I think this is one of the great benefits of being in Goa, that we can in a way take a long look at everything that surrounds us. At the same time, we are also in many ways at the forefront of things that are happening in India. The struggles over land acquisition, the struggles over SEZs, over the environment, over all these issues, and many of our members are in fact very actively involved. For example, Wendell Rodericks has taken such a lead in environmental activism in Goa. You've seen him here, we've talked about him being a celebrity and a fashion designer, but really Wendell has made such a huge contribution to the collective life of Goa. He's also made a great contribution to our clothing. I mean, where else do you have a writers group where you can actually wear clothes made by your members? So, one sort of unfortunate aspect that we see in today's India, where again, in some ways, we are in the forefront, is, we in India pride ourselves on freedom of speech, and quite rightly so. But sometimes I think this pride is misplaced, because increasingly we feel on ourselves the pressure of groups who are outraged about one thing or another. And this does lead to a certain kind of a silencing often, and we've seen that, across India, and sometimes we've even seen hints of it here. What it means for writers really is that one of the things that we really so much need in the world is solidarity. And this is something which very rarely comes the way of a writer, because, writers, we live in our rooms, we don't really interact very much, we're not very good at interacting. I mean, for me, sometimes months go by and I hardly leave my house. But, we live in a world now, in India especially, where really we do need people to stand beside us. And one of the things which is so marvelous about the Goa Writers Group is the way in which the members rally around, the ways in which they help each other, even in sort of very practical issues. One of our members recently had a terrible problem, just a sort of road rage incident. And it was wonderful the way that the other writers came out, rallied around, went to police stations to help him. It was a deeply moving thing, especially for me as a writer, because that is one thing you really very rarely see in the universe of writing, and it's something that writers need no less than other human beings. So for all these multiple things, really, I think we really should celebrate the Goa Writers Group, and that's what we are here to do today. And we have to remember, really, with gratitude, Victor Angel Ribeiro, who founded this group and who's become a friend of mine. And we have to thank also someone who's being very a shrinking violet today, Cecil Pinto, who has really in many ways kept this group together and kept it going. So, Cecil, here's a hand to you. And we have to thank, in the end, also Goa itself, because it's Goa that creates a community within which writing can flourish. It's what brings all of you here. It's what makes it possible for us to have an event like this. It's what makes it possible to have a receptive audience. So in the end, I'd like to end by actually applauding you.